Fall is all about cozy comforts, but when you're prioritizing your health, it's easy to feel like you're missing out. With Hero Bread, you can enjoy all your fall favorites because they're made with Hero Bread sliced bread loaves, tortillas, bagels, dinner rolls, and more. Try their all-new Hero Noodles with 12 grams of protein and just 80 calories. So skip replacing every carb with cauliflower and indulge in your breakfast, lunch, and dinner time favorites while still hitting your goals. From breakfast bagels and meal prepped enchiladas to mouth-watering burgers and cheesy noodles. You won't believe Hero Bread's options have 0 to 5 grams net carbs and are high fiber from the taste and texture. They've even got small batch drops of indulgent favorites like the popular Hero Croissant. And right now, Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code FALL25 at checkout. That's fall25 at hero.co. All figures are per serving of Hero Bread. Contains 2 to 18 grams of fat per serving. See the product nutrition panels on hero.co for more information.
I wanted to say they are not as stupid as they used to be, but they are less suspicious. They are more suspicious.
Yeah.
It's the first thing. The next thing is the fact that media buying and media costs are rising all the time. And what I'm observing is kind of a winner takes it all phenomenon. So I see the big players are succeeding because they are able to pour a lot of money into acquiring the customer. And today, without having, in my opinion, a lot of capital to get started, it's very hard to acquire customers in a profitable manner. So most of the business that I see today succeed are business that have enough cash flow in order to lose money on the front end, quote unquote.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is brought to you by ERC. Let me ask you a question. Did you have a business during the pandemic with 5 or more employees? If the answer is yes, you might be leaving money on the table. All you gotta do is go to ercbankroll.com and you can get your money. The best part about this, it only takes 5 minutes or less to see if you qualify. Go to ercbankroll.com and put in your name, email address, answer 2 questions, click on the submit button, and you're done. It's that simple. And get your money. So don't wait. Go to ERC Bankroll. Welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast. I'm your host, Lopez. So like and share this episode. And before I get started, I would appreciate it if you left me a 5-star review in iTunes. Love it or hate it, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you think about the show so far. I want to hear your feedback and all that good stuff. So today I have another guest, and this is a very special guest. He's a e-commerce entrepreneur, growth consultant with a passion for helping businesses succeed. He's bootstrapped and scaled multiple 7-figure e-commerce stores traveling the world. In addition to his hand-on experience with e-commerce, he's also the host of a podcast called EcomXFactor, where he interviews industry leading experts about e-commerce, copywriting, and marketing. My special guest is Yaron Been. Welcome to the show. So, where are you from?
I'm originally from Israel, but currently I live in Tbilisi in Georgia.
Oh, nice. So how did you get into marketing and business? Because this is not something that most of us, we don't go to school for. It's very rare do I meet people and they went to the university, for it or whatever and studied. So how'd you get started?
Awesome. Great question. Yeah, so as I said, I was born and raised in Israel. And when I was 18, I enlisted to the army. I served in the Israeli Special Forces. I spent 4 years over there. And I think that was the moment I realized I don't want any bosses or commanders above me. Because no disrespect to the commanders, I just didn't like following orders. Although I was in the Special Forces, I didn't like following orders. So at that point, I realized I should probably find my own way. But I went about and studied industrial engineering and for 4 years. And after that, I started working in a media buying agency in Tel Aviv. And I was spending already like approximately $1 million on a monthly basis on Facebook ads for clients. And it was kind of boring, to be honest. And I realized there's no real upside for me. And luckily enough, I met a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, and he showed me like a dashboard of a Shopify store that he just opened, and he was making sales. And until that moment, I thought that dropshipping and making money online is just like BS that gurus are selling. But since it was a childhood friend of mine, I like asked him, okay, what is the recipe? Please teach me. The morning after, me and my wife, we built a Wix store, and in the same evening, we got really lucky and we had our first sale. So we basically realized, okay, we can make money online. And from there on, we started, while we were both working in 9-to-5s, we started building a dropshipping store, which eventually evolved, and we sold for more than $4 million products all over the world, basically, mostly in the UK. And we both quit our jobs after 2 years of these e-commerce stores, running this e-commerce store while we were in the 9-to-5. And since then, we've been doing marketing and e-commerce related stuff.
Oh, man, that's great, man. Hey, we have one thing in common. We're both ex-military. We have a military background. So, yeah, I can relate when you say, hey, I didn't want any more bosses. I felt the same when I got out.
I don't think anybody likes commanders. But yeah, you learn a lot, obviously. But it's very challenging, So it's better to, I think for me, it's better to be my own boss. Although it's not as easy as it seems, but I prefer it like this.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys and women out here that have a military background that start businesses today. I've noticed that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Huh?
Why do you think so? I mean, why do you think that people ex-military go to down the entrepreneurial route?
I think we have an edge. We're fearless. A lot of stuff that the average person think about, the fears and the struggles they have, we don't really look at it like that. We embrace the challenges and the fears and the trials and error. Most people outside of the military kind of like they let that hold them back. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what I think it is. I think we have an edge.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the army the military in the US jargon, it changes a lot in human behavior, and it can teach you a lot about yourself. For me specifically, I think what I learned the most from my time in the military is the power of repetition. And volume of repetition, because when we served in the army, as I said, I was in special forces, and it was 18 months of only training. And when they want to teach you something in the army, they just sit you down, or they just put you in the training, and they just drill it. You just drill it like a million times until you get it right. So, for example, we went to the shooting range, and we were shooting for 14 hours straight all day long. Yeah. So obviously, after 3 months, you're almost an expert because you get these 10,000 hours. So I think the biggest thing that I learned from the army is, whether you like it or not, repetitions matter, and if you can put in a ton of volume in a short period of time, you can progress really fast.
Yeah, exactly. It's a discipline.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how did you decide that, because it's one thing to know that, hey, I can create my own business and everything, whatever. But what made you say, hey, I want to help other people? What made you decide to do that?
I don't think it was like a conscious decision. People started coming to me and offering me to help them and consulting gigs because they saw what I've been doing, and people that mostly know me, they know that my values and they know my skill set. So I started getting a lot of offers, and I saw it excited me even more than doing my own stuff because I was able to see different operations and help people in different stages. So I kind of gradually shifted from having my own thing to mainly providing more of services of media buying and marketing, hands-on help, growth-related initiatives.
Okay, so when people say scale, what does that really mean when people say that?
I think it's a scale. Scale is a relative. It's a relative metric. So for me, if you would have asked me 6 years ago, when I was spending more than $100 on Facebook, for me it was scaling. Today, I'm managing more than 5K on a daily basis, and for me this isn't scaling because I know that there are media buying accounts that are spending $100,000 on a daily basis. So it's all relative. So scaling basically is just growing. It's just a synonym for growing, and you can grow from level 0 and you can grow from level 10. So it's all relative.
Yeah. So I've met people from time to time, and they have these drop shipping companies. Maybe they might do Amazon, or they might maybe eBay, but mostly Amazon, or they might have their own website too. How much does it take to, I guess, really blow those websites and products up? I mean, to get in front of the right audience.
Yeah.
How much time and money does it really take on average?
Yeah, this is a great question, and I like the fact that you mentioned both, because time and money are scarce resources, and sometimes if you don't have a lot of money, you can just put in the time and effort. But on vice versa, if you have the money, you don't necessarily need to put in the time. And a lot of people, when they approach me with the same question, they ask me, how much money should I set aside for this initiative? And then I go about and ask them, how much time do you have? Like, share with me the whole equation, and based on this, we can build a plan. The answer really depends on your skill set and your idea and your work ethic. If I'd had to give like a very, very broad answer, I wouldn't start these days. I wouldn't start without having like at least 5K set aside for investing just for media buying. Assuming that you go down the non-organic route, like the paid advertising route. Back in the days, it was easier. You could have got lucky with lower budgets. Today, I think you can still get lucky, but it's a matter of probability. And when you don't spend at least 5K, in my opinion, the probabilities are pretty low. So I would say at least 5K and at least like 3 or 4 hours per day as a total investment, just to get started. Before that, you need to gain more skill or gain more capital, because you don't even get to the threshold of kind of seeing success, in my opinion, if you don't have these.
Yeah. So what are some of the biggest differences between today versus back in the day, in your opinion?
I think, first of all, knowledge is evolving, and back in the days there were less competition. So today everybody and the tools are it's very easy to get started,
Yeah.
Tools like Shopify, you don't have to have a lot of knowledge in order to put a store out there, So there is a lot of competition. So I always say the barrier to entry is very low, but this puts the barrier to success way, way higher, because there are a lot of competitors and you need to really know what you're doing in order to succeed. And this mainly comes into play from a few perspectives. First of all, buyers are not they are more suspicious. I wanted to say they are not as stupid as they used to be, but they are less suspicious. They are more suspicious.
Yeah.
It's the first thing. The next thing is the fact that media buying and media costs are rising all the time. And what I'm observing is kind of a winner takes it all phenomenon. So I see the big players are succeeding because they are able to pour a lot of money into acquiring the customer. And today, without having, in my opinion, a lot of capital to get started, it's very hard to acquire customers in a profitable manner. So most of the business that I see today succeed are business that have enough cash flow in order to lose money on the front end, quote unquote, and then reclaim the money with the customer returning to them.
Yeah.
Did this answer your question?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because as far as the money, because a lot of people think that, when they see, let's take somebody like Grant Cardone, for example. I'm using Grant Cardone as an example. They see him all over the place. They think that, hey, he's everywhere. I want to be just like him, right? Mm-hmm. But what you don't know is he's probably paying $1 million a month.
Easily.
And I think Dan Kennedy or somebody said a long time ago that the guy or the gal that pays the most money usually wins.
Exactly. This is a Dan Kennedy quote, and Russell Brunson just tells it every time. And it's right. The company that has the most money to spend on acquiring the customer is the company that will win. So yeah, I really see this today for sure.
Yeah. But I always say that you can still do well, but it might take you longer because you don't have if you don't have $1 million budget.
For sure. So I think you can still do well. It might take you longer. I definitely agree. But I also think that you can do well by capturing the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
So, there are enough breadcrumbs to make you rich. Let's say you micro niche. Let's say you only sell helmets to people who are into bicycle riding on the road. So this is a niche that can be profitable. And I believe that you can do like 100K profit on a monthly basis only from this. Because the world is huge, and for every micro niche, there are a lot of buyers. And the big companies are not after these niches. They are more interested in the broad markets. And this is where the opportunity lies for people that don't have a lot of capital, in my opinion.
Yeah. So when you say dropshipping, how do you come up with the product? If it's a hard product, is it an in-house thing, or is it like off market thing, going to China or India type thing? How do you source the products?
A great question. So first of all, let's just clarify. So dropshipping is just a way of fulfillment of inventory. It basically says that you don't have inventory. Now, as time went by, dropshipping has become synonymous with a whole business model or a whole type of business.
Yeah.
So in this type of business, I make a distinction between having your own store and controlling the marketing and running mostly Facebook ads or paid ads to the store. And the other aspect, the other game of dropshipping, is having your products in a marketplace. Amazon, Walmart, eBay, etc. So this is the first distinction that I make. And I used to play the game in which you have your own store and you control your own marketing. Mm-hmm. And for this, what I used to do in order to find products, I would just look at competitors and I would test a ton of products, let's say 10 products on a weekly basis. And I was looking for signals. So what product has the best CTRs, click-through rates, and the lowest CPCs, cost per clicks. And then I saw what product had the best CPAs. What product I had to pay the least amount of money in order to get a buyer. And whenever I saw a product that was kind of outperforming the rest of the products, I used to pour more money on this product and try to scale it, quote unquote, because we discussed this this thing before. So this basically was a process. Testing a lot of products, seeing what product outperforms based on the signals, and just pouring a lot of money into this product. And if needed, building a dedicated store for this specific product. Now, this was back in the days. Today, I'm not sure this is the best way to do dropshipping. I think you need to build like more of a brand identity to differentiate yourself from the competitors. But this is what used to work for us back in the days, like just testing a ton of products and seeing what works.
Yeah, the marketplace online had definitely changed. I remember back in the day, people didn't have to know who you was. If they liked it, they would buy it.
Exactly.
It could be, you could partner with somebody. He might have a list. They never seen you, but people on his list ain't never heard of you ever. And he would promote you or your website, your product, his list. People would buy automatically. That's not working that well.
That was a Wild West, but it's not like this anymore.
So things have definitely changed. Building a brand today is much more important than ever.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's talk about your website, Mentor Cruise. How did that come about?
No, so Mentor Cruise isn't my website. It's just a website that aggregates mentors, and I'm one of the mentors in that website. So it's not my operation. Just to clarify, but still, I think it's an awesome website. I mean, I suggest your listeners check it out if they're looking for help in any field. There are a lot of great mentors over there, and I'm not an affiliate. I'm not biased.
Okay, gotcha. So, like, what's your ideal prospect in a perfect world? Is it big, small, startups?
So I used to work mainly with beginners, but then I realized, it's way more challenging to help beginners that don't have like an entrepreneurial background, because there are so many variables and unknowns in the equation. So as much as I enjoy doing this, I don't work with beginners so often anymore. I'm mostly focused on helping brands that are like have an established brand already, and they are able to pay at least like $50,000 per month on media buying. At least this is like the bare minimum. So more of established brands or B2B brands that need a lot of help with automations, because I love doing automations. I'm not a big fan of working, so I like to automate everything.
I hear you, man. So hey, what's your podcast about?
My podcast is mostly about growth in general. It was focused on e-commerce, but now I'm kind of shifting away. Zooming out, not necessarily on e-commerce. Anything related to marketing, AI, Web3. Like, I just interview experts that I have a personal interest in interviewing and speaking with them, because this is how I grow and learn. And I'm operating under the assumption that if I find it interesting, hopefully someone else will find the conversation interesting as well.
Exactly. So hey, wait a minute. Let's talk about AI. Now, first off, what do you think about AI? What's your opinion?
I'm a big fan. I use it very often. I use it a lot, mainly for creating automation with Python. And this has been a game changer for me, because although I know some coding, I don't consider myself a developer. But now using ChatGPT, I'm able to pull off a lot of amazing stuff and a lot of automation that are marketing related, just using ChatGPT. So it saves me a ton of time, and it also enhances my abilities. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah, me too. I use it, man. So a lot of people, they're kind of afraid that it's going to take people's jobs and whatever. Now, it is going to take certain people's jobs. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, but I don't, people, they're afraid. I said you should embrace it. Things change over time. The thing's not going to stay the same forever.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, a lot of people are debating like the ethical uh, perspectives of AI, and it's kind of beyond my scope of control. So I don't care about this. I'm just, as you said, I try to embrace it and I try to leverage it. Because I know a lot of people are afraid of it, so I'm trying to exploit, quote unquote, this opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the future. Nobody really knows. Really.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly. So if people wanted to follow you online, where would they go to?
Yeah, so I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. So they can just look up the link, Yaron Been. My name is, I think it's pretty unique, so they will probably find me. And I have my website, EcomXFactor, and I have this podcast, which is under the same name. And I'm assuming that we will share the links in the show notes, so they will probably be able to find me over there.
There you have it. Like, share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.